Welcome to Richmond Red Devil Football on Whitewater Community Television. I'm Alec Thornburg here with my partner Matt Moore. Matt, Marion's going to receive this toss. You think they'll make a nice return?
I do think they'll make a nice return. Marion Giants are 3-1. Suffered a loss 2 weeks ago against Kokomo, only to a field goal, but I think they'll bounce back.
Ooh, Marion may take that all the way on the first play of the game. Was a great kick. He'll go down at about the 35, all the way across the 50. Great field position to start this game for Marion. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Giants. Matt, Marion's got a lot of size on that offensive line. How do you think they match up with this Richmond defense tonight?
They match up really great with the Richmond defense. Arsenal Tech a couple weeks back were relatively small compared to Richmond, but this is a more evenly sized comparison.
Hopefully Richmond's defense can get something to happen that'll go their way. They're 0-4, looking for their first win of the season here tonight on homecoming. This is a good Marion team. It'd be surprising to see them do it tonight, but on any given Friday, any team can win. The referees are coming together. Marion will hand it on the first play of the game. Nice cut at the line. Great spin. Still on his feet. He may score on the first play of the game for Marion. 6-0 already. 20 seconds into the game. The Red Devils are already down. How about that one, Matt?
That was nice. This is why Marion has a record of 3-1, and this is also why Richmond has a record of 0-4. Their defense has done absolutely nothing throughout these 4 games.
Yeah, they started very well in the first game of the season against Connorsville and have just fallen apart ever since that first half. We saw Connorsville come back and win that game. Oh, the Richmond will block the kick, though. You're going to give up the touchdown, at least make something happen. Richmond's able to get in there and block that extra point. The lead will stay 6-0. Richmond will receive the kick now. You think the Richmond offense will get anything going tonight, Matt?
I certainly hope so. But over the course of the past 4 games, I believe they've scored under 50 points compared to their opponents who have scored at least over 100 points.
Yeah, we know Wyatt Bird is out tonight, the usual starting running back for the Richmond Red Devils. Mikey Vance is expected to be in his place at running back. Hopefully Richmond's special teams can give them a big spark here to start this game for the offense. I'm sure with a third-string running back in, they'll let Brandon Curtis cut it loose a lot, don't you think, Matt?
I do think they'll let Brandon Curtis cut a lot. Wyatt Bird being out is a really bad thing for the Richmond offense.
Mikey Vance, a 5'9 junior, weighs 185. That kick will be fielded by Tremel Carpenter. He tries to break it off, and he will be wrapped up by a lot of Marion defenders. He gets the ball to about the 21 or 20-yard line. That'll bring up a 1st and 10 for Richmond. Very athletic-looking defensive ends for the Marion Giants. We'll see how senior Colton Davis holds up tonight. His senior season's winding down. He's hoping to make something happen. Ooh, looked like Marion may have jumped on that one. The flag is down. Offsides on Marion. Well, Matt, that's not usually what we see to start the game for Richmond. Usually that's going the other way.
Exactly. Usually we see Richmond being the ones offside. You can see Marion has a little bit different setup on defense than the other teams we've seen before.
They will let Brandon Curtis throw it on the first play, but he'll tuck it and run it. He gets a first down. Nice play to start the game. Nice decision by Brandon Curtis to tuck it and take off with it, able to pick up the first down.
That was a good decision, but if you play Madden, watch football, watch any football game, you will know running with the quarterback is not really what you want to do and can put them at an increased chance of getting hurt.
This time they'll give it to Mikey Vance, who is taken down for little to no gain at all. Yeah, as you said, quarterback run's not usually a good idea, especially if it's not a typically mobile quarterback. Brandon Curtis usually stays in the pocket unless they're rolling him out for a pass, but really no design runs in this offense for Brandon Curtis. You'll see Jarrell Deloney come in motion. He'll receive the ball. He's wrapped up. Another play stuffed by the Marion Giants. 3rd down and 7 for the Richmond Red Devils. Marion's defense looks pretty good besides that first play where Brandon Curtis was able to find a lane.
We've seen a trend in defenses with teams Richmond face. Started out with Connorsville, then moved to Arsenal Tech. Last week, Muncie Central, the defense keeps getting more pressure on the quarterback, and more players are trying to tackle down the person with the ball.
There you see the reception by Julian Holguin. He'll get a first down, not a player you typically see on the offensive side of the ball. They've been switching it up in the past few weeks. He plays cornerback for the Red Devils, number 7. One of their best players on the defensive end of the ball. They decided to put him out and see what he can do on offense. Richmond will go trips to the top of the screen. And they'll give it to Mikey Vance, who gets to the outside but is taken down. Ooh, and his helmet's taken off. Big hit by J.K. Thomas. Or I'm sorry, that's Christian Ross. Number 10, he's a junior. He plays linebacker for the Marion Giants. Second down and about 10 for the Red Devils. We'll see what they want to do here. Probably go to the air once again. They'll throw it back to Mikey Vance. That's never a good idea. Taken down behind the line of scrimmage, and if that's dropped, that's a fumble, Matt.
Yes, it is. Right now, Richmond's not making the best play calls. It's 3rd and 14. And they're already down 6 with just over 4 minutes in the game. That is not what you want to do.
Yeah, especially against this Marion team. They're not 3-1 for no reason. Their only losses to Kokomo by 3 points 2 weeks ago. And that game was at Kokomo. Richmond will let Brandon Curtis throw it once again. He can't find an open man, and he will be sacked. There it is, number 17, Brendan Martin. He's a sophomore, 6'5", 200 pounds for the Marion Giants. We've seen him line up on Richmond senior Colton Davis a lot of the night. He makes the play there. Richmond will come out to punt. Jarrell Deloney once again the punter this week. We've seen that every week of the season. Marion will have 2 men back deep to field the punt. Richmond's kicks have been blocked a lot this year, Matt. You'd think that maybe they'd want to go away from this spread punt formation.
Both kicks and field goals have been deflected.
This one will take a Richmond bounce and be down by Julian Holguin at about the 12-yard line. The ball will stop itself. I don't think that field position's going to matter much the way Marion scored on the first play of the last drive.
Absolutely. 28 seconds in, they already have 6 points. Richmond defense has to step it up.
The way it's been going, this one could go for another touchdown right here. That's not what Richmond wants tonight here at homecoming. The quarterback will keep it for Marion. He'll be taken down by Stephon Huber. The quarterback tonight for Marion's Justin Johnson. He's a 6-foot senior, 165 pounds. Wasn't really any space to be gained there. Marion coming out in a pretty traditional offensive formation. Just a basic shotgun. Looks like the ball may have been bobbled. Great play by Justin Johnson. He'll be forced out of bounds, but that play could have been way worse. That'll bring up a 3rd down for Marion. 3rd and 4. Seemed like maybe he was trying to give that ball, but he was able to get a few yards off of it, Matt. Yeah,
well, one way to look at it is at least he did not fumble the ball. It's 3rd and 4. I would be surprised. Well, I'm not surprised now. As you see, they just ran the ball.
Great play by the Richmond defense. Richmond's defense was able to step up. I got to say, I'm honestly surprised. I figured Marion might just go down the field and score immediately, but Richmond seems like they'll force the punt. Marion will bring their punter onto the field.
The way things are going now, we see Marion being very one-dimensional with their playmaking. They're going to all runs, and I really think that will affect them.
Yeah, if they decide to keep it on the ground, Richmond defense keeps stepping up. And they may be in trouble tonight if the Richmond offense can get something going. 2 men back deep for Richmond once again this week, the same type of deal that Marion had. This ball just bounced, not fielded by Richmond, downed at the 37-yard line. All right, field position for the Red Devils. Hopefully they can make it into something. What do you expect out of Richmond on this drive, Matt?
I expect more throwing from Brandon Curtis. I don't really expect much running from Mikey because Wyatt Bird's out and Mikey's really unproven in his running game.
Yeah, and he's not quite as shifty or fast as Mikey Vance is. Ronald Sanders also out tonight. Probably would be the backup running back, but he has a knee injury. He's awaiting MRI results. Bad snap there. We see Brandon Curtis fall down on the ball. Richmond's able to keep possession of it, thankfully for them. That would have been a big turnover. Would have completely nullified the defensive efforts. Could have taken a lot of wind out of the Richmond sails had that gone Marion's way. It'll be 2nd and about 13 after that first down mishap. This time they'll give it to Mikey Vance, who gets a nice run, found a hole. That'll bring up 3rd and about 3 yards for the Red Devils. Gained about 10 on the play. Richmond seems to be looking for a bubble hit. Brandon Curtis will get sacked. The ball came out, but Brandon Curtis was already on the ground. Richmond recovered the fumble anyway. That'll bring up a huge 4th down for the Red Devils. Marion's defense was in there nearly immediately, Matt.
Like I said earlier, the defense keeps on putting more and more pressure on Brandon, recognizing that he is a quarterback that's only started 3 games in varsity football.
Yeah, and he's not, as we said earlier, typically a mobile quarterback. Maybe gets a little bit flustered when he sees all those people in his face. Jarrell Deloney able to get that punt off of his foot, nearly got it blocked. Marion hoping for another great special teams play, and they'll return the punt for a touchdown. He is gone. There's a flag down on the field, but what explosion by the Marion special teams. We'll see what this flag's on. Illegal block in the back by Marion. That'll bring the punt back. But what a return, Matt.
That was a great return. For Richmond right now, it's like they are taking baby steps, and Marion is just running, literally running right through their defense. We just saw there would have been a touchdown, but there was a holding call.
The way that it seemed when he fielded the ball, there was no way with him going to the sideline that was even going to become anything, and next thing you know it, he's bursting through the other side for a touchdown. Thankfully for Richmond, it got called back, but still, if you're Richmond, that's in the back of your head of what just happened. The kick was returned by number 12, J.K. Thomas, running back. He's a sophomore for the Marion Giants. Marion will bring their slot receiver in a little bit tighter and bring a motion from the wide receiver on the left side of the field. He'll slip a tackle. Got a few yards on the play. Number 5, Montrell Podge. He's a 6'1" senior. He plays wide receiver for the Giants. Marion will come out in a pistol formation. This time they'll hand it to J.K. Thomas again. Another few yards to be gained there, but not much, not enough to get him a first down. About 1 yard to get the first down. That'll bring up a third down and about 2. Nobody back. Well, there's J.K. Thomas. Looked like they may have had Justin Johnson alone in the backfield. Justin Johnson's looking to pass. He'll be forced out, but he'll stay in and throw the pass. Nice completion there. He'll complete it to number 9, Braden Burke, a 5'10" junior for the Marion Giants. Great pocket awareness by Justin Johnson there, Matt.
Yeah. Now, Marion is starting to switch it up a little bit, since I'm pretty sure Richmond's figured out they've ran most 9 out of 10 times on their plays. But when it is important to note, Richmond has to be ready whenever they do decide to go to the air.
Here they go. They will give it on an end around. They may score. He'll be forced out of bounds by Stephon Huber. There he is again. Braden Burke came in motion that time and gave the ball by Justin Johnson. First down for Marion. That'll bring up a 1st and 10. Ball's at the 24-yard line, nearly in the red zone. We'll see if they go to the air again. Justin Johnson is a very athletic player. They'll give it to J.K. Thomas, who nearly gets the first down. He may have gotten it. Maybe just short of it. Should bring up a 2nd down for the Marion Giants. Well, they'll give him the first down. That'll be another 1st and 10 for Marion. Questionable spot there for the Marion Giants, but the officials seem to think they got the first down. The officials seem to be discussing something on the field, maybe the spot of the ball. And they'll take the first down away from Marion and change it to second down. Now they'll say it's 2nd and 1 for Marion. That seems like a better spot to me, don't you think, Matt?
It is a better spot, about 2 and 1. J.K. Thomas has had a pretty good set of runs. 5'7", not the biggest guy on the team, but his speed definitely makes up for his short stature.
He does have a big offensive line. Maybe gets lost a little bit behind them when the defense is trying to find him. Offsides on Richmond, though. There will be a flag. That'll give Marion the first down that just got taken away from them. That'll bring up 1st and goal for Marion. Ball's at the 10-yard line. I'm sure Marion will go to the ground here. Ooh, they will throw it. Braden Burke tries to get to the outside. He'll be forced out at about the 6. Flag on the field, though. We'll see what this penalty is and who it's on. Richmond may be able to get the yards back that they lost off the offsides penalty. That penalty will be on Marion. It'll back them up to about the 16-yard line now. Still 1st and goal. They'll come out in this pistol formation once again. They'll give it to J.K. Thomas right up the middle on a dive play. Not many yards to be gained there. Maybe got about 4. That'll take them back to about the 12-yard line. Not quite where they started at the 10 when this set of downs began with the 1st and goal. We've seen in a lot of these Richmond games lots of penalties, Matt. Both sides of the ball, it seems.
Yeah, earlier we saw a touchdown run get called back because of a penalty flag on Marion's end.
Ooh, Justin Johnson will fumble it. Richmond recovers that fumble. Great play by the Richmond defense. Good awareness to get on that. Maybe Richmond can do something with this, Matt.
Well, the crowd's definitely getting excited. The coaches are especially excited. But remember, Richmond's offense has not been that productive over the course of the last 4 games.
Besides the New Palestine Dragons, the Marion Giants are the best team the Red Devils have faced, so you've got to be feeling pretty good as this first quarter winds down that you're only down by 6 points. They'll hand the ball to Mikey Vance. Actually, they now have Stefan Huber in at running back. Number 13 was handed the ball on that play. Well, that'll be the end of the first quarter. We're going to take a break here. Red Devils are down 6-0. You're watching Richmond High School football on Whitewater Community Television.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
We're back with Whitewater Community Television. You're watching the Richmond Red Devils. Brandon Curtis kept it on an option there. He got eaten up. No gain on the play. He actually lost a little bit of yardage. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 11 for the Red Devils. We'll see what Richmond wants to do here. You see Stephon Huber still in there, running back. Cody Reese is the lone receiver at the top of the screen for the Red Devils. Brandon Curtis, that may have been a designed run, but he will be dragged down. That is number 7, Darrell Brown, a senior linebacker for the Marion Giants, came flying in there on that play to bring down Curtis. That'll bring up a 4th down and a lot. Jarrell Deloney will be punting out of his own end zone here. This may not end well, Matt, from what we've seen in the past.
Well, on this drive, there was a couple things that went wrong. To begin with, Brandon Curtis has to let go of the ball. Even if he, throws out of bounds, he has to do something with it.
Yeah, we've seen him take a lot of sacks tonight. We haven't seen that too much this year, or at least this early on in the game.
Additionally, on the offensive side of things, you had 2 kickers, Stephon Huber and Cody Reese. Stephon playing running back and Cody playing the wide receiver. In my mind, I'm asking myself, why are they on the field if it's not for special teams?
Yeah, we've seen Richmond really get hit hard with the injury bug this year. Lots of different players seeing time on the field on Friday nights for Richmond. Not very good if you're looking to build up and maybe win a sectional title or even win your conference. 1st and 10 for the Marion Giants, though. There will be a motion, and they will hand the ball off. Already a flagging on the play. Nice job to – oh, he stayed on his feet. Looked like he was going to be brought down. And then he will try to run Tremel Carpenter over, jawing a little bit to him. Montrell Podge. Nice play there. Flexing and showing his muscle off a little bit, we see.
Number 5, a senior, standing at 6'1", a lean kid at 195 pounds, is going to be a tough person to bring down because of his size.
Yeah, he's got some weight from his muscle on him. He's already 6'1". He's mature being a senior. His body's more developed. He's not a young kid. Richmond needs to be on their toes to bring him down tonight when they get the chance. We'll see if Marion comes out and throws it here. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Marion Giants after the penalty. They will let Justin Johnson throw it. He finds a wide open man. There's Montrell Podge again, who breaks a tackle. He's still on his feet. Throws Stephon Huber aside like it's nothing, and that's a touchdown for the Marion Giants. That'll raise it up to 12-0. 9:56 to go here in the 2nd quarter.
And that is a prime example of what we were talking about. Richmond they put a lot of people inside the box and expect them to run most of the plays. But, just as we seen on that play, they were not ready for a receiver.
Yeah, Richmond's defense clearly wasn't set up for a pass. That kick nearly got blocked again. Richmond's getting good pressure on the extra points, but there is a player down on the field for Richmond. Number 42 comes to his feet slowly. That's Jewel Taylor. He's a sophomore linebacker for the Richmond Red Devils. Richmond's hoping that maybe their special teams and their return team could put some points on the board here, or at least get them a whole lot of yards to put the offense in a favorable position. Richmond's defense hasn't been too bad, but the offense really has got to get it going, Matt.
Yes, it's one of those things for Richmond and Marion that good defense but better offense. It is important for Richmond to be ready for whatever kick Marion might throw at them. A couple weeks ago against Arsenal Tech, we saw a lot of squib kicks, and they were not really ready. So, will Marion possibly do a squib or onside? I doubt it, but it is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, especially in high school. Could really be a surprise to the Richmond kids if an onside came. They will kick it deep. Jermel Carpenter will field it. Great kick by Marion. Little hole there. Get thrown down at the 20-yard line. Number 32 on the tackle for Marion, Travis Metzger, a 6-foot junior. He's also a linebacker for the Marion Giants. Lots of good linebackers for Marion.
A lot of good, strong, not a whole lot of seniors, but mainly we see a lot of juniors for the Marion side of the field.
Yeah, and they're very athletic. They fly around and they're hitting hard tonight. Coming with a lot of energy here to Richmond for this game, hoping to spoil their homecoming. Already up 12-0, well 13-0 after the made extra point. 1st and 10 for Richmond. They'll come with trips once again. There it is that time. Number 17, Brendan Martin on the tackle once again from his defensive end spot. Mikey Vance was the ball carrier there, number 41. He's back into the game. Sam Gamboa has checked in at guard for the Richmond Red Devil offensive line. Brandon Curtis whispering something to Mikey Vance before this play starts. Maybe sees something he likes. Not a very good throw there. Not a good stance to throw out of, Matt. Seemed like he really tried to squeeze that in there when he shouldn't have.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you want to throw to the out of bounds, but that's not ideal. And like you said, Sam Gamboa out on the field now. Brings a lot of muscle, plays power forward in basketball. I believe he is a sophomore, so hopefully he can make some good plays for Richmond.
Yeah. Brandon Curtis maybe could have made that throw if he had a better foot position, but was pretty off balance on that throw. Just wanted to get it out of his hands. It's better than taking a sack, I suppose, but that throw doesn't look very good at all on the film. Brandon Curtis will throw it once again. This time it's complete to Trayshawn Jones. He gets about 3 yards on that play. That'll bring up a 4th down. They'll say he got 4. Richmond's going to go ahead and punt this ball away. We've seen the Marion special teams do a lot. If I'm Richmond, I'm punting this ball to the sideline.
You are right, Alec. We've seen Marion special teams be one of the best that we have seen in their 4 games and in a long time for Richmond football.
They've opened my eyes here tonight. It seems like every special teams play, something explosive can happen for this Marion return team, whether it's a kickoff or a punt. That'll be a timeout for the Red Devils. They'll want to talk about this. Maybe they'll end up sending the offense back onto the field. We'll go ahead and take a break with them. You're watching the Richmond Red Devils on Whitewater Community Television.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks donors to schedule an appointment to give now. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please, schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
We're back here on Whitewater Community Television. The Richmond Red Devils are down 13-0. Fourth down, they're going to punt it away here to Marion. That'll be fielded by Braden Berg. Nice punt there for Jarrell Deloney, I'll say. He's able to stay on his feet, and it looks like nobody really even trying to bring him down for Richmond. Lots of arm tackling going on for the Red Devils tonight. Marion's offense hoping to put more points on the board here.
And I'm pretty confident that they will. I mean, special teams, 40 yards, 60 yards, a touchdown that was taken away, all by Braden Berg. That kid is special, but it is important to note that Richmond is not doing its part on defense as they let him go right past Richmond defenders.
J.K. Thomas, as you said, just broke right through the Richmond defense once again. Braden Burke, a special player for the Marion Giants. Also, Montrell Podge we've seen. Justin Johnson seems to be a very athletic quarterback, and J.K. Thomas is explosive. This Marion team's got a whole lot of athletes. It's going to be hard for lots of teams to keep up with them, not just Richmond, but especially for this very young Richmond Red Devil team without a lot of experience. This is a game where somebody needs to step up and be a leader, but I'm just not sure the Richmond Red Devils have that on their team this year.
They don't have an actual leader, but the closest to one is Colton Davis, and he plays the offensive lineman position.
Yeah, he's a tackle committed D1 to Indiana State. Another great run there by J.K. Thomas. Another first down for the Marion Giants. Once again, marching down on this Richmond defense. Number 92 for the Red Devils, limping a little bit.
At this point of the game, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, analyst, nothing. We see specific trends. Some trends of this game are Richmond having 1 to 2 guys tackle the ball carrier compared to Marion, who has basically their whole offensive line run to the play.
Yeah. Richmond really hanging each other out to dry with how they're tackling tonight. Bad snap. Thankfully, it went to the side that J.K. Thomas was lined up on. Probably saved a fumble there since him and Justin Johnson both went up to save that ball. They get the ball to about the 3-yard line. Those are the plays that just haven't gone this way all year for Richmond. Plays that could be fumbles that are saved and turned into something. We saw a few weeks ago the quarterback for Arsenal Tech pick a fumble up off the ground and turn it into a touchdown run. Montrell Podge will come in motion, but Justin Johnson will keep it, and that'll be a touchdown for Marion. That'll make it 19-0 with 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. Another typical start for this Red Devil team. How do you think they're feeling on the sideline?
I think they're feeling the same that they have felt since the end of game 1. They are asking themselves, what are we doing wrong? Every day besides Sunday, they are out there on the field, but they still can't find an answer to that question. What are we doing wrong on defense that we are unable to stop touchdowns?
Yeah, there's no doubt Richmond's been working hard, had a long summer. As Matt said, works every day except for Sunday. Of course, Saturday may just be watching film and talking about the previous day's game, but they're always striving to become better. What have they got to do to get something going and get something positive this season?
And I think once they answer that question, they might win a game. The season is halfway over. A couple more home games for Richmond and a couple away. They are not looking to go into sectionals 0-9. They at least want to get a game or two under the wing.
Yeah, going into sectionals is not a good thing. That's 0-9, but that could cause the team in sectional to really count you out. I know a few years ago the Richmond team really counted Newcastle out and were shocked week 1 of the sectional. For all we know, this could be one of those stories for Richmond where they do something, but if you're Richmond, you got to worry about the week at hand, and right now that's Marion. It's not going too well. 20-0. We'll see which way Marion wants to go with this ball. Jarrell Deloney and Tremel Carpenter both dangerous with the ball in their hands, especially if they're given just the littlest bit of space. They'll give it to Tremel Carpenter, though. That kick will go out of bounds, and there will be a flag. They're not going to re-kick it, though. Richmond's offense will come out onto the field. We'll see if they can manufacture any yards on this possession. You know what we haven't seen Richmond do that much this year, Matt, is really try to test it deep and send the receiver vertical down the field. Maybe that's a knock on Brandon Curtis's arm, but it'd be interesting to see. Maybe these Richmond wide receivers just need to get vertical.
Well, you do have a point. Whether that it's a stretch on Brandon's arm or not, that would shock me, you, even the Marion defense, if they did a Hail Mary type play.
Yeah, Marion's, of course, watch Richmond's film. No plays really like that at all. Marion's defensive line will eat that run up on first down for the Red Devils, which should bring up about a 2nd and 10. No gain there. That'll be Mikey Vance on the carry. The wide receivers out there for the Red Devils right now are Trayshawn Jones, Jarrell Deloney, O'Shea Henderson, and Cody Reese. You see the two smaller men, Cody Reese and Jarrell Deloney, both on the outside. Mikey Vance will run it up the middle. His helmet will come off. That's the second time we've seen a Richmond player's helmet come off. He'll be taken down at the original line of scrimmage, which should bring up 3rd and 10. He'll have to come off the field due to his helmet coming off. We'll see Stephon Huber check back in at the running back position for Richmond. We'll see if Richmond wants to go to the air here. It's 3rd and long. I think that's probably the smartest decision. They will, but once again, another backwards pass. We saw that once earlier tonight. Stephon Huber got a nice spin move to get some yards. Got it to about the 40-yard line, gained maybe 5. Still going to be a 4th down. They'll say he was down at the 39. Should be 4th and 6. We'll see Richmond bring the punting unit on once again. That's been a familiar sight for the Red Devils. 5:27 here left in the second quarter.
A familiar sight, but I don't think that is a wise one. Halfway through the second quarter, you are down by 20 points.
Yeah, you've got to get your receivers vertical or at least get them a little bit down the field. You can't be throwing it backwards, especially on a 3rd and 10. We'll see that ball bounce and Braden Burke will field it. He'll cut back across the field. He may have something going, but he'll be taken down from behind by Julian Holguin, who is able to track him down. Great job following the ball. This week you're seeing Tremel Carpenter at DB for the Richmond Red Devils. We haven't seen him at defense. He started playing defense last week against the Muncie Bearcats. Number 3. We'll see if they want to throw it his way. They'll give it to J.K. Thomas on the ground, though, who's still on his feet. For such a small guy, he's able to stay on his feet for a long time once he's touched, Matt.
He is talented, tough, fast, everything you want in a running back. Will Marion score again this drive? I believe they will because Richmond just can't find an answer.
Justin Johnson will keep it, and he may be gone. Jermel Carpenter trying his hardest to catch up, but Justin Johnson able to just jog into the end zone, had a wide open lane. Richmond's defense all flowed, thinking the ball was going to for sure go to J.K. Thomas, and that just wasn't the case this time. Justin Johnson able to turn that into a phenomenal run. I'm not even sure who the best runner with the football is on this team, Matt. We've seen two wide receivers that can get it done. J.K. Thomas, the running back himself, and even their quarterback, Justin Johnson, can make something out of nothing with the ball in his hand.
Yeah, if you have players who can do a great job at a position that they don't even play, that is something special. A lot of great chemistry has to be in the locker room for Marion.
Flag on the play. We'll see what the penalty is. (27-0) for the Marion Giants. 4:33 left in the second quarter. Richmond yet to put any points on the board here tonight. The officials are still discussing the flag.
If you are Richmond right now, you are feeling really down on yourself. A couple of your best players are out on the sideline. You are losing by 27 points.
That'll be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Red Devils on the extra point. Also on Marion, though, those penalties will offset. We've seen that a few times this year as well, offsetting personal conduct penalties.
Yes, we have. Jermel Carpenter, also running for homecoming king, has to watch himself.
Yeah, we know. He is not afraid of anybody on the field, has a high drive to win games. Got to be frustrated with this 0-4 start and this 27-0 start that Richmond's come out to tonight.
And he shares that emotion with the rest of the Richmond sideline.
Great kickoffs tonight for Marion. That ball's getting to the 5 nearly every time. Jermel Carpenter will be swallowed up, may have had a hole he tried to get through, but that closed almost immediately. Richmond's offense will trot back onto the field here.
In a slow trot that they make, down 27. I don't know if you believe in comebacks, but they are very rare. We've seen a couple in professional sports. You know, the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals, and we even seen Connorsville, week 1, come back down by 26 points, basically single-handedly by the quarterback. So you're asking for a miracle if you are Richmond, and I doubt that will get answered.
Corian Ferris, number 9, in at running back now. We haven't seen him at all tonight. We'll see if he can get anything going. One big thing for the Red Devils this year, at least in their home games, we saw Adam Kelly Jr. week 1 do a lot, and Wanye Evans also do a lot. And tonight they faced Justin Johnson, who just broke off a huge play. All quarterbacks that are able to run the ball but can also throw it down the field. Very dangerous.
Corian hoping to do big things and play some. Mikey, the first time seeing field yardage instead of Mikey Vance.
Almost got smoked, but somewhat spun off of that hit. Lost 2 yards, but took away some of the pressure from that hit. Corian Ferris is going to check right back out. Mikey Vance will check in. Sam Gamboa also coming out.
And I think a lot of these young guys that the Richmond Red Devils are trying to incorporate into the game feel a lot of pressure. Sam Gamboa feels a lot of pressure. Corian, I'm sure, feels a lot of pressure being a running back. But Brandon Curtis felt pressure the first week, and he's overcome that.
Yeah, he has. Bad throw there, but in comparison to week 1 and even the Arsenal Tech game, very relaxed back there. Seems comfortable with his offense. Some of it just has to do with the pieces around him and putting the ball in the place where it needs to be.
Exactly. You're right, Alec. Richmond, they're stuck on a puzzle. They just can't find the missing piece. As you can see on the sideline, backup quarterback Zach Hill practicing. Expect him to get a little bit of action in this game, but I am unsure when.
Third down for Richmond. We may see a blitz here. Marion bringing a whole lot of heat. They will blitz. There, Trayshawn Jones for a great reception, number 1. Good throw. There it is, Matt. The wide receiver's got vertical, and it worked.
That, once again, we've seen a couple of them in this game, a couple in other games. That is a good defense, just better offense moment, and that is really one of the primary plays that we've seen by Richmond throughout these 4 or 5 games that have been pretty decent.
We'll see what Richmond does here on this play. 1st and 10. Maybe they'll want to get it back to Trayshawn Jones. They'll give it to Jarrell Deloney, who will just get swallowed up by Marion. What a play. Well, I'm going to hand it off to my partner, Matt. I'm part of the homecoming celebration at halftime. I'll be back after the half. Matt will have to finish it off. Take it away, Matt.
All right, sounds good. 1st and 18 for the Red Devil offense, hoping to find some sort of spark that they have needed throughout these first 4 games. In case you missed it, 2 plays ago, they threw a 20-yard Hail Mary pass to Trayshawn Jones. That got them some yardage, but Jarrell Deloney was tackled for a loss of 8 yards. Speaking of Jarrell Deloney, he just caught the ball, brought it to about the 46, maybe 47, even 48. If that, it'll be about 2nd and 10 now for the Richmond offense. Expect to see a lot of running from them. Marion's the same way too, but both defenses tonight, they have not been the best on defense when they decide to go to the air. We've seen Marion get a couple touchdowns from it, Richmond get a 20-yard pass, so expect some surprises. And as we talked about earlier, as Brandon Curtis runs the ball, having a little back talk with a Marion player, gets hit hard, that can take a really big effect on the quarterback. As we've seen before, quarterbacks who run have a very increased chance of getting injured, and that's not really what you want. The punting unit on the field for Richmond, and the kick is nearly deflected. A pickup by number 9, Braden Berg, not afraid of Richmond defenders. We have seen him do a lot for the Marion offense, not only scoring a couple of touchdowns, but picking up the ball. We expected them to let it bounce back for a touchback. Marion offense up 27 points, and like we discussed earlier, it would take a little bit of a miracle for Richmond to get back in this game. Marion on the 24-yard line, a minute 26 left in the game. Expect them to do a lot of running, possibly finding holes, not a whole lot of throwing, but they might surprise Richmond with a couple long throws. The quarterback finds himself in trouble, and it keeps on running right past the defenders. A great block by one of the Marion offensive linemen, picking up a couple yards, bringing it to 2nd and 5. A minute and 18 left in the game. Pre-game, if you missed it, and are not in attendance with the Bleacher Creatures. Number 35, the punter, Christian Lemons, a senior, 6 foot, has a leg on him. I mean, we are talking 35, 40, 45 at max. Field goal range for him. He is a great asset to the Marion offense as we see a pitch and a cut out to the left side of the field. As he trucks Trayshawn Jones. That is number 12, J.K. Thomas. We have seen him run the ball a couple of times and score a couple as well. A flag on the field. That will be holding on the offense. Bring them back to 5 yards. I believe it'll be 2nd and 5 once again. As you can see, as the Richmond defense lines up a lot of players in the box, and you have 3 man-on-man coverages and Trayshawn Jones in the backfield, but will that be enough for Richmond to deflect any passes that go in the backfield? We will see, and he passes it, and he's gone. Trayshawn Jones once again waiting for Montreal Poge, as we've seen him score a couple touchdowns before. A senior standing at 6'1", tough to bring down. One thing that the Richmond defense has to do is not wait for the ball carrier to come to them. They have to go to the ball, especially against tough teams like Arsenal Tech and Marion, even Muncie Central. They are just giving up points by doing that. An overhand throw by the quarterback, a little too high. That was Justin Johnson. We've seen him run a little before. It'll be 2nd and 10 on the 49-yard line, 24-3. In my prediction, I would estimate that they might try one more passing play. Be surprised if they go for a running play. They definitely want to get into field goal position, like I said. 45 yards max. Ideally would be 25-30, not putting a whole lot of pressure on the kicker as the quarterback throws and it is deep. Will he catch it? No, he will not. Flag on the field. Justin Johnson breaking the tackle and then throwing it deep. Another holding call on Marion. We have seen a couple of those tonight. They have been killing Marion. In case you missed it earlier, Marion has scored a touchdown off of a kick return by J.K. Thomas that was later returned and drawing back. It was taken away because of a holding call. We've seen about 3 or 4 of those. Expect a couple more in this game as 17.2 seconds remain. And then we will be in halftime. Marion, expect them to throw. Not going to do a whole lot. 27 points up at halftime. Richmond will head into the locker room feeling down on themselves, not very confident, but it's up to the coaching staff and their players to get them back in this game. And they have what they need to do that. Another deep throw is not good by Justin Johnson. A little too far, but we have seen that he has an arm on him. Number 2, a 12th grader, standing at 6 feet, 165 pounds. A lot of running by him tonight. There are 4 main players that we have seen running the ball. We have Braden Burke, J.K. Thomas, Montreal Pogue, and Justin Johnson, all not a defined running back besides J.K. Thomas, all of them putting in yards for the Marion offense. 10.8 seconds to go. Ball on the 49-yard line, 4th and 10. I assume that they will bring their punting onto the field. However, that might not be the right call. We will take a timeout for Marion, and we will be right back on Whitewater Community Television.
The bullying started when I was 9 years old, and I was in the 4th grade. They came up with nicknames like Small Fry, stuff like that. Whenever I saw them walking down the street, heading to school, my heart just kind of dropped. Just because they say those things doesn't make them true. I told my 4th grade teacher. She sat down with my parents and they talked about it. That's when changes started, being made. At the same time that all of this was going on in my school, I was beginning to get the acting bug. I went on this one audition with a casting agent, and she told me that being short was a good thing. So from that point on, when people called me Small Fry or Shorty, I was like, yep, you're right, and I'm proud of it. With my experience of being bullied, I feel like cyberbullying is almost a more cowardly way of bullying a person. Bullying is bullying, and there's no excuse for it.
Stand up, don't stand by. Log on to Disney.com/common sense for more information.
What would you do?
We are back on Whitewater Community Television. Matt Moore here with 10.8 seconds left, just after the timeout from Marion, probably discussing if they are going to bring their punting on the field or run a play, and they have decided to go with punting. A bad snap and a squib punt recovered by Jarrell Deloney as he is brought down on the field. A long way to go for Richmond. It'll be 1st and 10 on about the 25-yard line. On the 15-yard line with 4.5 seconds left. Richmond might just test how well their Hail Mary throws will go. They have done one before and gained about 20 yards, but that will not be effective as they need 85 to go with 4.5 seconds left. If they can get at least one touchdown going into the half, they will feel more confident about themselves, and we will take a timeout for Richmond.
No, I don't know. No, I'm scared.
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
And we are back, 4.5 seconds left. You are watching Richmond football on Whitewater Community Television. As we approach the final play, which I assume will be a pass, we would like you to join us in sticking around for halftime events that include the celebration of the 50th year anniversary of Richmond's state-winning football championship team. Added to that, as we see a runner go down and halftime concludes, the naming of the homecoming king and queen brought forth by the award-winning Richmond Marching Band, and we will see the teams head off into the locker room as we conclude the half. You are watching Richmond football on Whitewater Community Television.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
From the Richmond Red Devils, 1967, undefeated state football championship team. Red Devils football team put together one of the most dominating seasons and football teams in Richmond and state history. The Red Devils finished with a record of 10-0, were North Central Conference champions, and named Indiana State champions. No team in the powerful North Central Conference even scored a single point against Richmond. They gave up almost 18 points all year, and the only teams that scored on them were two Ohio powerhouse teams, and the only Indiana team that scored on them was Bishop Knoll of Hammond. A total of 14 players were named all-conference, and several were named the all-state team. Many of the players went on to successful college careers as well.
Can't trust the ball.
At this time, it gives us great pleasure as we would like to recognize players and coaches from the 1967 historic team. Many of them who have traveled all across the country to return to their alma mater 50 years later for this celebration. First, we would like to honor and pay tribute to those coaches and players who have passed away, but were such integral parts of that legendary team. Please join me as we recognize legendary head coach, Alec. Assistant coaches, Mike Alec and Tony Pinano. Team manager, Steve Raymond. Players, Gary Belcher. And was named to Indiana football Alec is involved in the RHS radio and TV program. He plans to attend Ball State and Alec High School in Southern California. Our next couple is Jessica Bowman and Nate Parker. Jessica is involved in Frank and Sherry. Jessica is cheer captain and non-power cheerleader. Plans to attend Ball State and Southern California. Nate is the son of Alec and Jeremy Parker. Nate is a member of the RHS football team. He plays for the Carolina and study human life science. He eventually plays for the med school in North Carolina and Seminary College. Next up, Ashley Walker and Sid Sedgwick. Ashley is a
back on Whitewater Community Television. It's the start of the second half. The Marion Giants are up 27-0 on the Richmond Red Devils. What do you think is going to happen here in this second half, Matt?
I think in the second half we will see a lot more of Marion scoring and a lot more of a defensive breakdown on the Richmond end, which we are used to, but hopefully they can do something with it.
We will see Richmond field the kick. That'll bring up a 1st and 10. He'll get the ball to about the 20-yard line. Tremel Carpenter really limping. Something's up with his hip. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back in tonight. You see Corian Ferris out there at running back to start this second half for the Red Devils. Mikey Vance trotted off the field. You expect to see Corian in a lot this second half, Matt?
Corian as a freshman, I don't think he is a sophomore, looking to get more experience on the field as this is his first time, mainly the whole season as the ball is loose on the field. Look for him to get a lot of play as Mikey is a senior, and we've seen a trend with coaches at the end, a little over halfway part of the season, at the end of the season, starting to put more freshmen and sophomores in, getting them accustomed. We've seen this with basketball, baseball, and now we are seeing it with football as well.
This will be a second down for Richmond. Fumble on the first play backed them up quite a bit. Second down. We'll see what Brandon Curtis does here, whether it's a give to Corian Ferris or they go to the air once again. Brandon Curtis will look to throw it deep to Julian Holguin. Leads him a little bit too far outside. That ball will float out of bounds. There's a flag on the field, though. We'll see what this penalty is. That'll be against Marion. That'll help Richmond out and aid them on this first drive of the second half.
"15 yards and a first down gets you feeling good about yourself, but a lot of rookies and sophomores on the field. Now, I know if I was in a situation, I would feel that I would want my more dominant seniors and juniors players to play, but you have to let rookies play in order to see what their potential is. We have seen Brandon Curtis have a pretty good potential, and Corian is trying to show his on the running side of the field.
Mikey Vance is checked back in at running back. They'll let him keep it here. He'll be swallowed up. Got maybe about 2 or 3 yards on that play. Not much to be gained. Moved forward a little bit once he was contacted that got him the extra yards. Could have been taken down at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a second down for the Red Devils, 2nd and 8. They'll come out in this trips formation with only Julian Holguin to the right side of the field. This is another give to Mikey Vance. He'll be swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage there. Great play by the Marion defensive line.
Absolutely, Alec. A great play by the Marion defensive line. Mikey Vance not really getting a whole lot of yards tonight. We've seen the Marion defense not put a whole lot of people in the box, causing them to break right through the defense. Mikey's helmet has come off twice during this game. It may come off once again as this Marion defense has a strong core.
We'll see if they want to throw it here. They will. Brandon Curtis is looking to Julian Holguin's side of the field. Hit him right in the hands. Great pass there. Just wasn't able to catch it. May have taken his eye off the ball. That'll bring up 4th down for the Red Devils. Jarrell Deloney on to punt once again. We've seen that a lot tonight.
Jarrell Deloney previously playing quarterback, not a whole lot of experience at the punting end of things. Against Connersville and notably Arsenal Tech, a few of his punts have been blocked.
That one will be blocked there. It looks like Marion should be able to pick that up and waltz right into the end zone.
By Marion. Speaking of the punts, just caused a touchdown for Marion.
And there's Montrell Podge on the touchdown, number 5 for Marion.
35-0. We, as Red Devils, somewhat believe that we are still going to get back in this game. But from a sports analysis point of view, I would say odds are this game is over.
Yeah, Marion's looked like they may give Richmond a game here in the first quarter. They were very tight, 6-0, as we see it go up to 34-0 there. But as soon as the second quarter started, Marion really pressed down on the gas.
Number 24, Sam Vermillion, has a leg on him too, not as much as the previous kicker that we have seen before. We look to see more of him as he is a senior and stands at 6 foot and 210 pounds.
You'll notice on this play, usually Jermel Carpenter and Jarrell Deloney back deep. Now it's going to be Jarrell Deloney and Cody Reese back deep to return this kick. Jermel Carpenter is on the bench right now being looked at.
Jermel Carpenter A very energetic young man, just got a confidence boost as he won Homecoming King, unfortunately over the anchor Alec Thornburg, being a big loss to the Red Devil offense is Jamel Carpenter.
That ball boomed down the field. Jarrell Deloney will field it. That seemed like the plan as Cody Reese pretty much immediately went to block someone. Richmond will get that ball to about the 15 or 25-yard line. There is a penalty marker down.
A penalty marker on kicks. We have seen a lot of this tonight. Richmond has had about 6 or 7 punts, the last one just being blocked and picked up for a touchdown. Another flag on this play. I believe it was on Marion.
We'll see what the officials call here. At this point, some of these penalties aren't really going to matter much. I know it's only the third quarter, but with the way Richmond's been going this season, this game you could almost say is over with.
You can almost say the season is over. Now, the rules for a sectionals are it does not matter how many games that you play, you are still guaranteed a sectional game. However, these they're not really practice games, but less important games are important to get ready for sectionals if they hope to make a big splash in the water.
That penalty will go against the Red Devils. It'll back them up substantially. Well, now it is offsetting penalties. They'll put the ball back to its original spot after backing it up. A little bit of confusion out there on the official side. Seems like they have the wrong ball out there on the field. The officials now getting the right ball set into place here for this 1st and 10 for the Red Devils. 9:31 left here in the third quarter. Brandon Curtis looking to his coaching staff.
Brandon Curtis only 4 games into the season starting varsity. He's never done that before. A little confused on the offensive end, a little bit off with his passes tonight. And as we've seen over the past 4 games, a little overthrown.
He tried to throw it in a tight window there to Julian Holguin. Well, that's actually Trayshawn Jones there. He's able to make the reception, but there is a flag down. Once again, another penalty. Lots of yellow tonight. That'll go against Marion for defensive holding. Richmond will have the ball now at about the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Mikey Vance still out there at running back. Lots of confusion down on the field right now. You've got to wonder what's going on right now. Seems like everybody is confused. Now they're saying to start the clock. Seems they have everything set into place. Richmond will come up with 3 wide receivers to the left and Julian Holguin alone to his right. Mikey Vance in the backfield. Offset to the right of Brandon Curtis. Ooh, Marion will jump there. Offsides on the Marion defense. That was easy to tell. They were drawn off by the Richmond O. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 5 now for the Richmond Red Devils. Well, Matt, lots of penalties on this drive, more
Yeah.
penalty time than real actual football time. You think the Red Devils can get anything going with all these yards assisting them?
You know, the yards are assisting them, but the way that's been going, as we just see, not a big punt and excuse me, way off. Not a big run, but a big hit on the Marion defense. Number 8, Andre Aguilar, a junior standing at 5'2", coming up with a big hit. The Richmond offense has not been doing a whole lot. And the problem with that is we are letting them take our points from us. We are letting them score when we are not. We are not strong enough on the defensive end or offensive end to getting points.
Mikey Vance taken down for a big loss there, which will bring up another 4th down. I don't really see the point in sending Jarrell Deloney out there to punt it again. Probably just leave the offense on. Actually, that is 3rd down now.
Montrell Pogue, an offensive player, plays a running back, wide receiver, and a linebacker coming in with a big hit. As you can see for the Marion defense, a lot of people in the box puts pressure on Brandon Curtis.
3rd and 7 here for the Red Devils. Brandon Curtis is looking to pass. He will let it go deep. Throws it into double coverage.
Interception.
Intercepted by Marion. That'll be going the other way. That'll bring up a 1st and 10 for the Marion offense. Justin Johnson, I expect, would trot back onto the field here.
Number 13, Aries Washington, a sophomore, standing at 6 foot, 150 pounds, with a good interception, just driving the dagger more and more into the heart of the Richmond sidelines.
7:27 left here in the 3rd quarter. We're not even to the 4th quarter yet, and Richmond already finds themselves down 34 points with Marion having the ball. Justin Johnson in at quarterback just once again. J.K. Thomas is still there running back. Braden Burke will lose some yards. Well, finally taken down by the Richmond defense. Looked like maybe he would turn that into something. Jarrell Deloney came at his legs, and he didn't have a choice but to go to the ground. Good play by the Richmond defense. Very rare we've seen one of those tonight.
You are absolutely right, Alec. Bad defense leads to good offense for Marion, as the score is 34-0, just over halfway through the 3rd quarter.
We'll see what happens on the 2nd and 17 for the Marion Giants. They'll throw it out to his right side. Looks like Braden Burke. He's trying to turn on the Jets, but Jarrell Deloney again taking him down at the legs. That's 2 plays in a row. Jarrell Deloney's made a leg tackle on Braden Burke.
Braden Burke, one of the 4 players we mentioned earlier that are really driving this offense, as Stephon Huber waited for the running back or the receiver to come to him. They can't do that on defense. It's not that complicated.
We'll see what Marion comes up with here on this 1st down. High snap. Justin Johnson's able to keep it, though.
High snap, high pass.
That throw will go just hit the turf. Don't really know where that was supposed to go, but it was definitely off of its target.
I'm not really sure, Alec, who has had more bad passes and overthrown passes in the game between Marion and Richmond, but I know that Marion is really stepping it up even when the passes are bad, with a 3 or 4 essential people on the offensive line.
This time they will give it to J.K. Thomas. Looks like they were trying to run a little bit of a triple option there. Justin Johnson probably made the right decision to give it. They got good yardage. Should bring up a third and about 4 yards.
Some shoving on the field after the play by Stephon Huber, upset with the play in general on the Richmond end.
Braden Burke will come in motion, but J.K. Thomas will take it up the middle. Stephon Huber trying to wrestle him down. Finally a gang tackle by the Richmond defense. This Marion team very good at staying on their feet and not being pulled down by the arm tackles. This time, Justin Johnson will be in the pistol formation. J.K. Thomas lined up behind him. Montrell Podge comes in motion. Justin Johnson will pitch it to Podge. He runs over number 13, Stephon Huber.
We have a player down on the field, number 5, Montrell Podge, one of the key players that we talked about earlier, standing at 6'1", plays 3 positions, running back, wide receiver, and a linebacker. Unfortunate to see him leave the game, but he has contributed to a 34-point lead.
This will be an injury timeout. Montrell Podge seems to be back on his feet, though. The players for Marion are back on their feet and are ready to resume play, it seems. They're huddling up a little bit.
Another comparison we can make between Marion and Richmond, as we have seen Marion find open holes when they decide to run it, compared to Richmond, whose runners, including Mikey Vance, not much experience on the running back side of things, run into his own player on the field.
We'll see if they give it to J.K. Thomas again. Justin Johnson will cock that up to throw. That time it hits the wide receiver, number 16, Eli Luton, right in his hands. He's a 6'1" junior wide receiver for the Marion Giants. That ball just slipped right through his grasp. Seemed like an easy completion for Justin Johnson.
That would have been a great completion for Justin Johnson. A great catch for Eli Luton, who has not caught the ball so far in this game. But one of the problems I see with Richmond is that they are not playing on the line of scrimmage. They are waiting for the receivers to come to them, and that might be a reason that they are down 34 points.
Richmond was able to put good pressure on Justin Johnson there on the 3rd and 9, force him out of the pocket and get him to throw it out of bounds. That'll bring up a 4th down and about 9 yards for the Marion offense. We'll see if they bring the punting unit out. I don't see why they wouldn't with such a big lead. Why give Richmond any momentum at this point? They may think they have something going, though, and just want to grind it into the Richmond defense and impose their will a little bit. There's an intentional grounding penalty on that play. That'll be a loss of down and will also back their punting unit up a little bit. Nothing much of importance there, as it will be a 4th down no matter what. Not close enough that they should go for it either way, but I'm sure the 4th and 9, maybe you might think about it against this weaker Richmond defense. Ball is now all the way back at the 46-yard line on the other side of the 50. Marion will punt it. Whistles in on the play. Trayshawn Jones seemed to maybe have had a sliver of daylight to get through there. First and 10 for Richmond. Penalty markers down. Zach Hill is going out right now. Seems like he'll be the quarterback for this drive of Richmond. Corian Ferris out there at running back. Brandon Curtis may not see the field again tonight. Probably just a coaching decision, as this game seems pretty much wrapped up. Marion's been dominant tonight.
And it might be a wise coaching decision. letting the younger player get more experience on the field, as Zach Hill has proven that he has an arm, but like we said earlier, we discussed, more people in the box means more pressure on the quarterback. Him playing football and basketball, getting hit hard could really affect him.
Marion burst through the offensive line of the Red Devils and take Corian Ferris down for a bit of a loss on that play. Zach Randolph with the tackle. He is son of NBA star Zach Randolph as well. Zach Randolph is from Marion. Number 62, known for playing basketball, but you also see him here tonight on the gridiron. Zach Hill in the shotgun. Corian set off to his right. That ball nearly went straight to Corian, but
that will
Zach
be
Hill,
a safety. One example of what we talked
they'll
about.
They'll call him down at the 1, actually.
That is a surprising call, as I could have swore he was in the end zone. I think they will definitely have to review that.
Nearly in the end zone. Richmond's offensive line has got to come off the ball as hard as they can here and give their quarterback a little bit of time to make a decision, whether that's reading on a read option play or trying to make a pass down the field. The way Marion's defensive line has been exploding tonight, there's no time to think back there. We'll see what Richmond comes out with here, running a play from their own end zone. Julian Holguin comes in motion, but there is a flag. If that penalty occurred in the end zone, that'll be a safety. That penalty will be against the Red Devils. Which would be half the distance to the goal, but pretty much as far back as they could go without it actually being in the end zone at this point. 3rd and 20 for the Red Devils. Timeout by Marion. Surprising timeout there. Don't see why they would want a timeout, but we'll take a timeout with them. Richmond's down 34-0 on the Whitewater Community Television. We're back here on the Whitewater Community Television. Richmond's facing a 3rd and 20. Zach Hill's in at quarterback. Brandon Curtis has been pulled. Probably won't see him again tonight. 2:44 left in the 3rd quarter. What are they going to do here on 3rd and 20 out of their own end zone, Matt?
Well, they have to pull something out of their magical bag of tricks. And the bag is empty. So expect them to go as far as they can. Hail Mary pass. I do not expect it, as I believe as offsides again.
No, that's a false start penalty on Corian Ferris. The running back tried to engage in his running track a little bit too early, was a little bit antsy. If I'm Richmond, I definitely want to change the play calling. It seemed like there was at least going to be a fake to Corian Ferris, which will eat up a little bit of time. Marion should try to fly off this ball. We'll see Zach Hill under center. Richmond doesn't do this often.
3rd and 20, really no need for a run. What are they thinking?
They try to
Alec,
run a power play.
do you have an answer? Why are they doing that for, man?
At least they're able to get it out of the end zone and get maybe a foot on the play. That'll bring up 4th down and 20. Definitely not a yard gained there. Barely any space.
Right now, Richmond says, you can have our points, you can have whatever you want, because we are not going to defend you. And that has pretty much been the story the whole game.
Jarrell Deloney able to get his kick off in tight quarters there. Surprisingly enough, that ball died down at about the 38-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Marion Giants, already up by 34 points. probably looking to keep the ball on the ground and run some clock as this game progresses and stay fresh for next week. If I'm Richmond, it seems like we're saying this every week, but I'm already looking to next week, trying to see if I can get something positive on the film to look at tomorrow morning when I come back in to review tonight's game.
Well, they definitely need something positive. I think Coach Tawfik is a pretty positive, but at the same time realistic guy. He does not mess around. He cuts straight to the point, and I think he will probably do that tomorrow when they are watching the film.
We'll see Keyshawn Taylor, number 1, come in motion. He may be able to get into the end zone. Jarrell Deloney is able to trip him up there. He'll go down around the 5-yard line. Great first play by Marion. We haven't seen Keyshawn Taylor with the ball too much tonight. Usually a quarterback or a defensive back. He is a sophomore. He's 5'11", 165 for the Marion Giants. We saw him in the slot on that play.
I know the goal for the Richmond offense is to get better over time, to adjust to the new coaching arrangements, adjust to some new players, including quarterbacks, running backs, and any injuries. But I know they want to look towards the future, but you have to ask yourself, when is the future? When are we going to start winning games? Because they have not won a game so far, and as of right now, it looks they are not going to win this one either.
J.K. Thomas tried to lower his shoulder into Julian Holguin. Stephon Huber came in to help. They weren't having it there, pushed him out at the 1. Maybe the 2 weren't going to allow him to get 6 more points on the board. New back in the backfield right now. Darrell Brown, number 7. He's a 5'10 senior, 235 pounds. Definitely bigger than J.K. Thomas. Justin Johnson's able to hop right in, maybe bringing him in as a blocker as a bit of a confusion, as it's a player Richmond hasn't seen line up back there. Probably thought it was going to be a give. He's a bigger back. What do you think, Matt?
I do think that is what happened. That's another thing Richmond has to focus on. They have to think on their feet. They are when the ball is hiked, they do not have quick enough reaction time. They react to it after the play's over. They ask themselves, what just happened? And they don't know.
That'll take it to 41-0 here in Richmond on homecoming. The Red Devils haven't put a point on the board as of yet. Third quarter, 1 minute, 10 seconds left. We'll see Richmond return another kickoff. Maybe the special teams will take it upon themselves to at least score some points, as it looks like the offense is absolutely off tonight.
Absolutely. If we were playing another sport, there would be a mercy rule, and this would classify as the mercy rule. This is pure embarrassment on the part of the Richmond offense and defense.
We'll see what Richmond does on this kick return. They've been able to get decent yards. Earlier it looked like number 3, Tremel Carpenter, may have had a hole, but it closed very quickly. That was probably their best return of the night. With so many kick returns coming from Richmond, it should be a play they really take pride in and try to make things happen on. Marion will kick this one deep. That one gets to about the 6-yard line, fielded by Jarrell Deloney once again. He'll try to turn on his Jets. He'll get taken down at the 27-yard line. Once again, Zach Hill is out there. Still no sign of Brandon Curtis. I think we can officially say his night is over.
Absolutely. I think from here on out, in the previous 4 games that we have seen Richmond play, about halftime, late in the second quarter and early third quarter, a quarterback switch happens between Brandon Curtis and Zach Hill, as Coach Abe Tawfik wants to give the rookie, well, the younger rookie, more experience on the field.
1:04 left in the third quarter. I expect to see a lot of plays go to the ground as this clock will run. There we see Marion jumping off sides. Didn't seem to be any motion from the Richmond offensive line. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. 1st and 5 for Richmond. This is the first week we've really seen a team jump off sides a lot against Richmond.
Absolutely. You have not really seen a whole lot of that during the past previous home games, away games, any type of game. But tonight there's been a lot of penalties.
Good play there by Mikey Vance. Probably got about 8 or 9 yards on that play. Doing his best Wyatt Bird impression, trying to be very shifty there.
And Wyatt Bird is who they need. First game versus Connersville, a couple of touchdowns. We've seen this again during the second week. Arsenal Tech, the same thing. Muncie Central. But I'm pretty sure that if he was playing tonight, we would see the exact same result from him.
Yeah, there's just not many holes to be gained there. We saw Mikey shift a little bit, but without that shift, I'm sure there's nothing there. The Marion defense has been pretty controlling tonight. Mikey, once again, though, able to get a nice run. Gained 7 yards on that play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 3. We'll see what Richmond comes out with. Tremel Carpenter has checked back into the game. That'll be the last play of the quarter, though. We'll go into the fourth with the Marion Giants up 41-0 on the Richmond Red Devils. You're watching Whitewater Community Television.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, that can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
We're back here for the start of the fourth quarter, 41-0. The Giants lead the Red Devils, 2nd and 3 for the Richmond offense. Ball is located at the 49-yard line. Richmond just into enemy territory here for 2nd down. New player in at running back for the Red Devils. That's O'Shea Henderson, number 14. Bigger kid. He'll get eaten up for a loss of 1. It'll put the ball back at the 50. That should bring up a 3rd and 4. Stephon Huber will check it into the game. Penalty against the Red Devils. Didn't notice there was a flag down. Not sure what this is for. It will be a 15-yard penalty. The Richmond offense has already retreated back to around where they're going to need to be. 9 seconds have run off the clock here in the fourth quarter. Only 11 minutes and 51 seconds left to get some points on the board for Richmond just to make this look not quite as bad. Zach Hill will give it Trayshawn Jones in the backfield there.
A lot of what we've seen tonight is Richmond running backs and wide receivers running the wrong way. losing yards as they go back, try to turn around and go forward, change their field position. That's really not helping them at all. That is actually losing them yards, and they can't afford to lose any more than they've already lost.
Number 14, Henderson, back at running back again. Henderson and Jones are two players we usually don't see at running back for the Red Devils. Somewhat of a surprise. The officials seem to be discussing something. Discussing with the Richmond sideline. Now they'll go ahead and say to run the clock. It's 4th down for the Red Devils. Jarrell Deloney is on to punt once again.
A little bit of confusion on the Richmond side of things as Darrell comes out to punt once again for the 7th time, and one of them's been blocked.
Thankfully, it's only been one kick for Richmond. Happened to be a punt that we saw earlier. That
a little
ball's
bit
fielded.
of unnecessary roughness
Penalty on the field.
between Jarrell and number 13, Reese Washington, a sophomore standing at 6 feet, 150 pounds. We have seen him catch an interception earlier in the game, which led to a touchdown drive.
No matter where this ball gets spotted, it should start as a 1st and 10 for Marion. This is just all about the field position and where this drive will commence from. Marion with a huge lead here in the 4th quarter. Still 10 minutes and 30 seconds left to add to that. I'm sure they'll score at least one more time unless the Richmond defense can really dig in and stop them. We haven't seen that very much tonight. Richmond seems a little bit sluggish here today. Maybe they're not all the way in the game. We see a new quarterback in now, though, for Marion. They'll just give it to number 11, Khalid Stamps. Nice run by Stamps there. Seems number 18, Kane Richardson, is in at quarterback for the Marion Giants. He's a freshman standing at 5'10", weighing 170 pounds.
Khalid Stamps' first run of the game, first time on the field, finds the hole, something Richmond cannot do, and takes advantage of it, gaining about 20 to 30 yards.
Khalid Stamps, a freshman, probably excited. Get a nice run off there on the road. This time that'll be a backwards pass. Marion's able to get very good yardage out of. He turns the corner. He's trying to get there. He'll get forced out of bounds. That's Keyshawn Taylor again. We've seen him a few times tonight, and every time he has the ball, something good happens for Marion's offense.
Everything Marion does is exactly what Richmond wants to do, but they are just actually doing it instead of just thinking about it, which is what Richmond has been doing this whole entire game. 4 yards to go. Score is 41-0. Alec, we can assume the score will go up about 7 more points.
At the least 7 more points. You never know the way this Richmond team could go.
Absolutely. 61 points given up at one of the 4 games, I believe. Another one was in the 40s, and a hole is taken advantage of. And
Keyshawn Taylor taken down at about the 5. We see him get the ball once again and almost scores a touchdown on that play, Matt.
We have also seen this good team chemistry with Connorsville. They had 4 or 5 really key people, instrumental figures on their team that led them to come back from 26 down and get the overtime victory.
That's a great point. Every team Richmond plays has a set superstar or a set group of players that really click. Richmond doesn't have any players like that. Any solid, huge difference makers. That'll be a touchdown there. Khalid Stamps will punch it into the end zone. That'll raise it up to 47-0. There is a flag down. No touchdown. The ball will be backed up. Marion will have a little bit longer to go. It's a holding penalty against the Giants. We still see Kane Richardson out there with Khalid Stamps. Pretty much a whole new unit in for the Marion offense. We see number 21 come in motion there, and he takes the give. Probably could have scored, but he got tripped up. D'Angelo Jones, a 5'10 sophomore.
The touchdown that was received was taken back, and they could have had another touchdown run on that play, but unfortunately he got tripped up and fell.
We'll see what they come out with here. I'm interested to see what Kane Richardson does when really throwing the ball down the field, if they even choose to do that. Probably won't here with the way this game has been tonight. No reason to stop the clock on a possible incompletion.
Not a whole lot of players in the box for Richmond, allowing for holes like that one, which brings them up about 8 yards.
A little bit of trickery there. Every time we see Keyshawn Taylor get near the ball, it usually goes to him. That time it was a fake, and they gave it up the middle to Khalid Stamps. 7:30 left in this fourth quarter. 4th and goal for the Marion Giants, up by 41 points. All 3 timeouts left. Probably won't have to take any of them. Really no reason to. Richmond can't really do anything at this point to turn this game around. They will go for it here on the 4th down. 4th and about 5. They'll let Kane Richardson throw it. Nearly intercepted, batted away by Stefan Huber. Nice defense there. Won't matter much though. Richmond now takes over on terrible field position. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Marion defense back them in for a safety, Matt.
Neither would I. 7 points would have been nice, but Marion will settle for 2.
We'll see what Richmond comes out with here. We see Corian Ferris and Zach Hill back in the backfield. Jacob Jones throwing his gloves to the side. It'll be a give to Corian, who is just slung to the ground like a rag doll at the 1 yard line. Loss of yards there.
Corian only standing at 5'8", an athletic shooting guard who also plays basketball, but unable to make his way through the Marion defense, which has proved effective tonight as they have kept the Red Devils to 0, which has not been done in their past 4 games.
Yeah, Richmond's always at least got a point on the board. Tonight would be the first time they've been shut out all year. That will be a give inside. Trayshawn Jones is the man that had the ball on that play. Another play where it's a direct give to Trayshawn Jones. Corian Ferris will line up as a slot receiver on this play, and they'll have Trayshawn Jones in the backfield with Zach Hill. You can see Julian Holge, number 7, out wide to the right side of Corian. O'Shea Henderson, the slot on the left side. Seemed like Marion may have jumped again. Another offsides penalty on the Giants.
Unnecessary flags for Marion. If I am the head coach, I am asking, why are we doing this? We are up 41 points with 5 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game. There is really no need to jump the line.
It is pretty ridiculous. We've seen Marion do it a whole lot tonight. Very antsy. That just shows they are firing off of this line, though. They are ready to come on every play. Sometimes they come a little early. This will be a give to Trayshawn Jones on an inside zone. Not much to be gained there, but still a positive play for the Red Devils, one of few tonight. That'll bring up a second down for the Red Devils. That ball will be at about the 20-yard line, should be 2nd and 5 for Richmond. There is an injured player on the field for Richmond. So number 1, Trayshawn Jones, may have been hit below the belt. Comes to the sideline, able to make it off under his own power, but collapses once he gets to the side. Jarrell Deloney will jog onto the field in place of Trayshawn Jones. Jarrell Deloney now back at running back. Another new running back for Richmond tonight. Jarrell Deloney will try to get to the outside and cut it back in. Nice run by Deloney. Able to make a nice play. That'll gain a first down for the Red Devils.
The first time all night we have seen a Richmond player take advantage of the hole that is given.
That is true. Other Richmond players may try to keep bouncing that outside. Deloney saw his opportunity and decided that his best chance was to cut it in. Another give, another solid gain. Jarrell Deloney maybe should have came in at running back for the Red Devils a bit earlier in this game. Making a difference right now when there's nothing to be changed, but showing the coaches something to watch tomorrow on the film. Jarrell Deloney taken down by his legs there, still able to gain about half a yard on that play, maybe bring up third down.
O'Shea Henderson not being able to stop the defender from coming in and tripping up Jarrell.
We saw a nice powerful block from number 75, Colton Davis, the left tackle of the Red Devils there.
A left tackle committed to D1 football at Indiana State University. Not really doing much for the Red Devils this evening.
There will be a timeout. We'll take a timeout with them. The Red Devils are down 47-0 on Whitewater Community Television.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We're back on Whitewater Community Television, 3rd and 3 for the Richmond Red Devils. 3:28 left in this fourth quarter. This game's nearly in the books, but a little bit of time to be run off before we can say it's official, even though it's pretty much done. 47-0 here. Jarrell Deloney's been getting some nice runs for the Richmond offense, but won't mean anything. Favorable spot there. They will give Deloney the first down. I didn't think he quite got there, but the officials will signal to move the chains. That'll bring up a 1st and 10 for the Red Devils. Trips to the right. Cody Reese, the lone receiver on the left. Once again, another give to Jarrell Deloney. He'll get about 4 yards on that run. It'll finish as a gain of 5. Bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Red Devils. Maybe headed into next week, you look at Jarrell Deloney as an answer at halfback. He's been doing some nice things at running back since he's come in on this drive.
That might be one solution as he gets the ball again and takes advantage of the hole. Some unnecessary roughness on the field by number 12, Alec Snittiger, and a Marion player. Jarrell Deloney has certainly been performing better than Mikey Vance at the running back position. Instead, of Wyatt Bird as he is injured.
Jacob Jones, we saw on that play, tried to get a pancake off towards the end of the play. Probably has the Marion defensive line fired up. Jarrell Deloney able to stay on his feet and gain probably about 3 or 4 yards on that play. Looked like he would get demolished, but he's actually able to turn it into something positive once again. Usually a slot wide receiver, also used to be a quarterback, now in at running back. Jarrell Deloney making the most of his carries here tonight.
With 1:32 seconds left, the officials will let the clock keep on rolling on as the Richmond bleachers start to pan out as the Red Devils will start the season 0-5 with a 41-point loss, resulting in the first shutout of the season.
Zach Hill will fake the give to Cody Reese. Cody Reese came in motion, looked like it may be a jet sweep. He'll be taken down at the original line of scrimmage. Loss of 4 yards on that play. They'll say he was a little bit in front of the original line of scrimmage. That should bring up a 3rd and 9 for Richmond. Maybe should have just went ahead and gave it to Cody Reese there. Probably would have got better yardage off of that. This clock is ticking away here, 3rd and 9, only 30 seconds left in the game, 47-0. Matt said it earlier, Richmond will fall to 0-5. Marion will move to 4-1 with their only loss as that Kokomo game 2 weeks ago. Nice run there by Jarrell Deloney once again. That should wrap this game up, as they'll let the clock tick away. Richmond's jawing a little bit with Marion, but that'll wrap it up here. As you see the Richmond Red Devils fall to 0-5 to the Marion Giants, 47-0. Thanks for watching. You were watching Richmond Red Devil football on Whitewater Community Television.